NPC session commences as Premier Li Qing tells Hong Kong to leverage unique strengths and global role. The Middle East conflict keeps widening, with Israel launching airstrikes across Tehran, with rights groups estimating death toll in Iran amounts to some 1,000. And in Hong Kong, Customs has cracked its biggest ever precious metals bust, seizing $230 million in gold and silver. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Chu. Premier Li Qing delivered the government work report at the opening of the fourth session of the 14th National People's Congress, announcing an economic growth target of 4.5% to 5% for 2026, down from the around 5% goal held since 2023 and the lowest since 1991. Cheryl Yun wraps up the highlights.
President Xi Jinping led top leaders into the Great Hall of the People for the annual session. Delivering the government work report, Premier Li Qing outlined development targets in 2026, emphasizing a strong start to the 15th five-year plan. Li noted the country will prioritize in stabilizing employment, enterprises, markets and expectations, while driving meaningful quality improvements and reasonable quantitative growth in the economy. Beijing has set an economic growth target of 4.5% to 5% for this year, while noting it will strive for better in practice. Other main targets for development include a surveyed urban unemployment rate of around 5.5%, creating over 12 million new urban jobs, and an inflation rate of about 2%. On the fiscal side, the government pledged continued proactive policies, setting the deficit to GDP ratio at around 4%, with general public budget expenditure projected to hit 30 trillion yuan for the first time. It will pair with continued appropriately accommodative monetary policy, including flexibly and effectively employ a range of policy instruments, such as cuts to required reserve ratios and interest rates, the report said. The report also highlighted advancing original innovation, breakthroughs in core technologies, and greater self-reliance in science and technology, prioritizing future-oriented industries like new energy, quantum tech, embodied AI, 6G, and beyond. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Meanwhile, the annual government work report has for the first time highlighted the need to strengthen the effectiveness of governance in Hong Kong and Macau under the law. It also underscored the unique advantages of the two SARs in drawing strength from the nation while remaining connected to the wider world. Chief Executive John Lee and Macau Chief Executive Sam Ho-fai attended the opening session of the National People's Congress at the Great Hall of the People. Premier Li Qing, while delivering the report, reaffirmed Beijing's commitment to the one country, two systems framework, stressing patriots governing the two SARs and pledging support for integration into national development and lasting prosperity. The report aligns with the 15th five-year plan proposals released last October, again calling for enhanced legal governance and economic and social progress in both regions. Notably, the phrase comprehensive and accurate was dropped from this year's articulation of the one country, two systems policy, the first time since 2016. Meanwhile, last year's reference to deepening international exchanges and cooperation did not reappear. Beijing has pledged to be a steady anchor in a turbulent world, vowing to resolutely oppose hegemonism and power politics while championing a new vision for global governance, according to the new government work report. Quentin Yang reports.
In the diplomatic section of the report, Premier Li Qing said China would stick to an independent foreign policy of peace and peaceful development, even as it faces what officials describe as rising external headwinds. Li said China will actively promote four major global initiatives, covering development, security, civilization, and the newly emphasized Global Governance Initiative, presenting them as Chinese answers to the world's governance and security gaps. and as building blocks for what it calls a community with a shared future for humanity. Li paired the diplomatic pitch with a robust defense posture. The report reviewed a 2026 defense budget of over 1.9 trillion yuan, marking a 7% increase. While this is a slight dip from last year's 7.2%, it underscores Beijing's focus on military modernization, with Li stressing the need to improve combat readiness to safeguard sovereignty. On Taiwan, the wording sharpened. The report hardened its stance from opposing to resolutely fighting against separatist forces, while simultaneously pledging to deepen cross-strait exchanges and integrated development by ensuring equal treatment for Taiwanese compatriots. Analysts noted this dual approach signals a business-as-usual strategy focused on long-term unification goals rather than immediate confrontation, despite external pressures. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Amid the broadening of the Middle East conflict, humanitarian groups have put the death toll in Iran at over 1,000, a great number of them civilians. U.S. President Donald Trump hailed the U.S.-Israeli joint operation, vowing to use any military means to achieve objectives. Meanwhile, Iran's retaliation has widened, targeting not only enemy military bases, but also Amazon data centers it accused of supporting hostile intelligence activities. Quentin Yang has more.
In a major coordinated strike, Israeli fighter jets hit military compounds in eastern Tehran for the second time in 24 hours, targeting what it called the heart of Iran's security apparatus, including Revolutionary Guard and intelligence headquarters. The U.S. Central Command simultaneously released footage of a naval strike in the Indian Ocean, showing an American warship sinking an Iranian frigate in what officials claim is the first enemy vessel sunk by torpedo since World War II. U.S. officials claim the operation has destroyed 20 Iranian vessels so far. Donald Trump declared the war a great success.
Well, thank you very much. And we're doing very well on the war front, to put it mildly, I would say. Somebody said, on a scale of 10, where would you rate it? I said about a 15. So we're in a very strong position now, and their leadership is just rapidly going. Everybody that seems to want to be a leader, they end up dead.
The White House outlined 4 objectives for the mission: dismantling Iran's ballistic missile program, neutralizing its navy, crushing terrorist proxies, and blocking its path to nuclear weapons. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed ground forces remain on the sidelines for now, though she refused to take military options off the table. In response, Iran launched fresh retaliatory strikes. Drone attacks damaged civilian homes in northern Iraq. NATO member Turkey also reported shooting down Iranian ballistic missiles. In a bold new front, Iranian drones attacked Amazon Web Services data centers in Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates, knocking critical cloud infrastructure offline. Iranian media confirmed the strikes, accusing the tech giant of supporting enemy military and intelligence activities. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Israel has escalated airstrikes across Lebanon, hitting Hezbollah strongholds in Beirut's southern suburbs, as the Iranian-backed militant group vowed not to surrender. Lebanese authorities reported at least 72 deaths and over 400 injuries from Israeli attacks since Monday, with more than 83,000 people displaced. Cheryl Yun reports.
An apartment building in the northern city of Tripoli was struck amid the intensified Israeli air campaign towards Lebanon. In capital Beirut, along the main coastal highway, 2 cars were set ablaze by drone strikes, killing 3 and wounding 6. Israel also launched ground incursions into southern border areas, describing them as part of an enhanced forward defense posture in response to Hezbollah attacks. The Israeli Defense Forces accused Hezbollah of carrying out terror attacks against Israel under Iran's direction, stating the group must pay a heavy price. Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem vowed to continue to fight against Israel, declaring surrender was not an option in what he called an existential defense against Israeli-American aggression. His remarks followed accusations from the Lebanese government that Hezbollah was dragging the country into a wider regional war, with calls for the army to disarm non-state armed groups. Qasim insisted Hezbollah's response was a legitimate right of self-defense. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Back to Hong Kong, customs officers have uncovered the city's largest ever case of precious metal smuggling involving gold and silver worth $230 million. Officers seized 186 kilograms of gold sheets, 285 kilograms of silver sheets, and more than 4,000 electric cleaning machines used for personal jewelry or spectacles. The authorities said that on Monday, 2 consignments bound for Japan were intercepted at the airport. The cartons, declared as containing electric cleaning machines, were flagged during X-ray screening when the density appeared unusually high. Further inspection revealed that each machine concealed a rectangular metal plate embedded with gold and silver at its base. The total market value of the haul is estimated at $230 million. Customs are pursuing the suspects, believing the smuggling attempt was made to evade $23 million in taxes. Police have raided a makeshift processing plant in Tehran, seizing suspected etomidate drugs worth around $500,000. A 28-year-old unemployed man has been arrested. During the operation, officers confiscated over 1,600 suspected etomidate vape cartridges, about 3 liters of suspected liquid etomidate, and a large quantity of drug-making equipment. Authorities intercepted the man on Wednesday afternoon near a squatter hut in Tehran. A search of the premises he rented uncovered the suspected drugs. Investigators believe the seized cartridges were produced at the processing site. Initial inquiries suggest that individuals may have been recruited to manufacture the cartridges due to unemployment. The case will be mentioned at Tuen Mun Magistrates Court on Friday. A deadly crash on Fan Kam Road has left a 56-year-old taxi driver and his 85-year-old passenger dead after their cab collided with a truck near late this morning. Both victims were rushed to hospital in critical unconscious condition and later pronounced dead. The crash happened at around 11:30 a.m. near the Hong Kong Golf Club, where the New Territories taxi smashed into a truck, leaving the cab's front end badly crumpled and trapping the pair inside. Responding firefighters had to pry open the vehicle to save the driver and passenger. British police have arrested 3 men on suspicion of carrying out espionage activities for China. One of those detained is David Taylor, the husband of Labour Member of Parliament Joanne Reid. Taylor previously served as an advisor to a former Labour peer and is currently the director of the think tank Asia House. Reid has stated she was not involved in her husband's business dealings and has seen no evidence of unlawful activity. The Metropolitan Police confirmed that 3 men aged 39, 43 and 68 were arrested separately in London and Wales. They are suspected of breaching the National Security Act by assisting a foreign intelligence service. Media reports suggest the other 2 men also worked as former Labour advisors. The Chinese embassy in London has condemned the arrests, calling them fabricated and an attempt to smear China, and has launched a formal protest with the British authorities. Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 71 points. Top active stocks of the day. Alibaba was down $3.60. Hang Seng China Enterprises Index was down 52 cents. Tencent was down $4, and Xiaomi was up 20 cents. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar, Euro 9.07, the Australian dollar 5.51. Onto the weather now. Cloudy periods in the morning and at night, mainly fine and dry during the day tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 17 and 23 degrees. Moderate north to northeasterly winds, becoming moderate to fresh easterlies tomorrow night. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world.
That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thanks for watching. Good night.